Welcome to Short Story Universe Audio, where stories explode with action, mystery, and imagination. I'm Vandale, the only creator of this brand new comic book universe. Want to support my work? My PayPal link is on my YouTube homepage, and every bit helps bring these amazing stories to life. To fully enjoy this video, please ensure CC closed captions aka subtitle is turned on. Here's a quick reminder. The characters, events, locations, etc. in Whemsyka Woods, Tales of the Tuskens are fictional and set within the short story universe. By the way, afterwards, there's an AI podcast, and it was conjured by NotebookLM. So, grab a snack, sit back, get ready to laugh, cry, and think as you enjoy this epic, heartfelt, comic book story, Whemsyka Woods, Tales of the Tuskens. Davy Woods, along with his fellow scientists from the United Scientists Association, in honor of his sister Whemsyka Woods, transformed the desolate false forest into a vibrant, thriving ecosystem aka Whemsyka Woods. They used Pteranoids, autonomous AI-driven systems which operated independently, making them indispensable for large-scale ecological restoration projects. These highly advanced, bioengineered entities, synthetic organisms, terraformed and rejuvenated the false forest's ecosystems. Equipped with nanotechnology and adaptive genetic coding, Pteranoids manipulated the environment at a molecular level. They created lush plants, flowing water streams, towering trees, and even formed rocks and boulders that appeared natural. Also, Davy released hybrid creatures called Divinians into Whemsyka Woods as tour attractions. The Divinians were called Jet Zoos, Stone Age lion bears, and California gruffs. Plus, Davy had an entire list of new Divinians soon to be released into the forest. However, Whemsyka Woods, also an active member of the United Scientists Association, created hybrids known as Jurassins. They say copying is a form of flattery. Complete transformation was my idea, rejected for being too dinosaur in nature. Davy said he'll table my ideas for later. Yet, the moment his dear sister, Whemsyka, goes missing, he drafts up beautification plans. No one takes ideas from a Belrose and gets away with it, Whemsyka sneered as she secretly released baby Jurassins into the outskirts of the forest, without Davy's knowledge or approval. Months later, Davy released more Divinians i.e. Elefox into Whemsyka Woods. Altunzo, a larger, stronger male Elefox with prehistoric markings. Norwina, a smaller female Elefox. As two Elefox, Altunzo and Norwina share an unbreakable bond. Gorvax, the scarred and massive leader of the Stone Age lion bears, has never forgotten his past altercations with Altunzo. Enraged, he led a relentless chase, forcing Altunzo to flee for his life. Pursued by ruthless Stone Age lion bears, Altunzo narrowly escaped, crossing a treacherous river to find refuge in the outskirts. Yet, despite his sudden disappearance, Norwina never doubted that she would see him again someday. One day, during a VIP tour, a young girl, Carly, simply adored Norwina and she wanted her as a birthday gift. Thus, her wealthy father, Albert, immediately arranged for this to happen. An hour later, Norwina is secretly taken aboard a small drone and flown away from home. 6 months later, Carly, now totally bored with Norwina, insisted Norwina be sent away. Albert quickly sold Norwina to Timmy's traveling circus. During transport, as Norwina flies over Whemsyka Woods, a primal instinct awakens in memory of her lost life, Altunzo, and her home. In a desperate frenzy, Norwina causes the small plane to crash into the forest. Slightly injured, Norwina lies unconscious until a familiar presence arrives. It's Altunzo, and he somehow knew it was Norwina aboard the plane. His touch awakens Norwina, and in that moment, their old friendship transforms into something deeper. They are now in love. Together, they became star attractions in the forest, started a family, and took on the family name of Tuskens. Their firstborn, Quinn, strong and brave, grows into a fierce leader in his own right. Quinn defies boundaries by falling in love with a spirited young female Stone Age lion bear named Beverlyn. But history repeats itself. Stone Age lion bears chased Quinn away into the outskirts. Now, Altunzo, Norwina, their son Othin and youngest daughter, Whemsyka, along with Beverlyn must embark on a perilous journey to rescue Quinn, face dangerous Jurassians, the same dangers Altunzo once escaped. However, Gorvax isn't trying to kill Quinn. He wants to use him as bait to lure out Altunzo, finishing what started years ago. In many ways, Whemsyka Woods, Tales of the Tuskens have just begun. Up next are two AI podcasters who deep dive more into this and the short story universe. Enjoy!
All right, so today we're diving deep into Whemsyka Woods. It's this fascinating world from the short story universe comics. Specifically, Whemsyka Woods, Tales of the Tuskens. He gives us this little peek into like this really unique world and all these cool characters, But where did this whole ecosystem come from? That's what we're going to figure out.
Well, it's kind of interesting how Whemsyka Woods, it actually started out as this place called the False Forest. Kind of bleak, right?
Yeah, not exactly a name that inspires a lot of hope, huh?
Right. But get this, they totally transformed it. They made it into this amazing, vibrant ecosystem we see today, all as like a tribute to Whemsyka Woods.
Oh, okay, so we're starting off with a bit of a sad story then.
Yeah, it seems like losing Whemsyka Woods really pushed her brother, Devi. He was the scientist with the United Scientists Association. Anyway, he took on this massive project to rebuild the whole ecosystem. And get this, he did it starting from the molecular level.
Hold on, molecular level. How is that even possible?
Well, he used this crazy advanced tech, these things called pteranoids.
Pteranoids? Wait, are we talking like AI, nanotechnology?
Oh,
This is getting pretty sci-fi.
It really does kind of blur the lines, doesn't it? The comic doesn't fully explain how pteranoids work, but it's obvious they're super advanced for this universe,
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what's it mean for a society to have that kind of power over nature? Is it a good thing or could it go totally wrong?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially because Devi wasn't just satisfied with rebuilding a forest. He wanted to fill it with these hybrid creatures, divinians they're called. It's almost like he's trying to make his own little paradise,
Right. It really makes you think about the whole ethics of manipulating nature. How far is too far?
Yeah.
And what responsibility does a creator have for, what they create?
So what kind of creatures are we talking about here? What exactly are these divinians?
Well, we get some cool examples like the Jujet zoos, and then there's the Stone Age lion bears and the California gruffs. I mean, even the names sound kind of wild, right? And it seems like Devi had a ton more planned. Each one was supposed to be even more fantastical than the last.
Wow, it kind of sounds like he was building a theme park, but with real living creatures.
Huh, that's one way to put it. But we gotta remember, he wasn't the only one with ideas about what Whemsyka Woods should be. We also meet this other scientist, Smithsina Bellerose, and she had her own vision for this place.
Okay, I'm sensing a little tension here.
You got that right. So Smithsina, she developed these creatures called Jurassians. They had distinct dinosaur-like features.
Dinosaurs, sounds cool.
Yeah, but Devi, he wasn't into it. He rejected them. He said they were too dinosaur in nature, whatever that means.
Yeah. Seems like he had a pretty specific idea in mind for this world. So what did Smithsina do? I bet she wasn't too happy about that, huh?
Oh, she was definitely not happy. She felt totally dissed, like Devi stole her ideas and made him his own. And that, led her to do something pretty drastic. She secretly released baby Jurassians into the outskirts of Whemsyka Woods.
Seriously? Without telling anyone?
Nope. So from the very beginning, we've got this rivalry brewing. Two scientists, two totally different visions, and it's all playing out in this incredible but kind of fragile ecosystem. But what does all this mean for the creatures living there? That's what we're going to find out next.
Okay, so last time we were talking about Whemsyka Woods, right? It all started with this really sad thing, but then it was rebuilt into this incredible place, but maybe a little too incredible. And we had these two scientists, Devi and Smithsina. They both had their own ideas about this world. But where does it go from there? What kind of problems do the creatures living in this perfectly made world have to deal with?
Well, behind all that ambition and competition, the comic zeroes in on this story about these two Elefox divinians, Altunzo and Norwina. And their story, it really shows just how complicated this world is.
Yeah, those are the Tuskens.
Yeah.
Comics named after them. So what makes their story so important to, understanding Whemsyka Woods?
So Altunzo and Norwina, they've got this super strong bond. It's the main thing about their species. But then their peaceful life gets all messed up. There's this conflict with Gorvax. He's the leader of the Stone Age Lion Bears. And he's got this, like, deep grudge against Altunzo. It's from some past fights that left him all scarred up, you know? Like, physically and mentally.
So this whole thing between Altunzo and Gorvax, is it just some personal beef?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there more to it? Like, does it tell us something bigger about Whemsyka Woods?
It's a really good question. It seems like their rivalry, it's like a symbol, you know? Like a bigger fight for power. These two different species, they're both trying, like, be the top dog in this kind of small space. Makes you think, right? Like, maybe Devi was trying to make this harmonious place, but by putting all these creatures with totally different instincts together, he kind of accidentally made things even more chaotic.
Yeah, it's like the classic survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
But it's like way more intense because these creatures are all genetically engineered, you know? And then because of this whole conflict thing, Altunzo has to run away. He goes to the outskirts of the woods and leaves Norwina behind. So what happens to her?
Oh man, things get pretty bad for Norwina. Humans capture her. There's this little girl, Carly, who wants her as a pet. And her dad, he's rich, so he just, like, uses his money and power to take Norwina away from her home. It just shows you, like, this messed up relationship between humans and these creatures, you know?
It's like the humans, they think Whemsyka Woods is just some fancy zoo. They don't get it at all.
Right.
They don't understand how complex everything is there. And Norwina's story, it doesn't get any better from there.
No, it really doesn't. Carly gets bored with Norwina, so they sell her to Timmy's traveling circus. It's like they're just using her. But then something kind of hopeful happens. They're flying over Whemsyka Woods, right? And Norwina, she has this, like, awakening, this deep feeling. It's like she can sense Altunzo. She can feel her home calling her back.
Right. And that's when she makes her escape. She causes the plane to crash, right? Like right back into the woods. That's pretty intense.
It is. It really shows how tough Norwina is and how connected she is to Whemsyka Woods. She's hurt, but she's alive. And it seems like luck is on her side. Altunzo feels something too. He finds her at the crash site. It's this really emotional reunion. It shows how strong their bond is.
So the Tuskens are back together. It's like a moment of good in all this chaos. But Whemsyka Woods is still a pretty scary place. Their story, though, it keeps going.
It does, yeah. They get back together and fall in love. Then they start a family, and they start calling themselves the Tuskens. It's like the symbol of how strong they are together. They have 3 kids, Gwen, Othen, and Opiza. You know, their story could have just ended there. Happy ending, right? But like you said, things aren't ever that simple.
Yeah, especially not in Whemsyka Woods. So where do they go from there? What new challenges do they have to face as a family?
Okay, so their oldest son, Quinn, he grows up strong and brave, just like his dad. But he's also kind of like rebellious, and that leads him to falling in love with Beverlyn. She's a female Stone Age lion bear.
Whoa, forbidden love.
Yeah.
In a world that's already so messed up, we know Gorvax hates Altunzo, right?
Right.
So what happens with this interspecies romance?
It's like asking for trouble, right? And that's exactly what happens. Gorvax and his buddies, they totally freak out about Quinn and Beverlyn. They chase Quinn all the way out to the outskirts of Whemsyka Woods, just like what happened to his dad.
So it's like history is repeating itself, but now it's the kids who have to deal with this, like, ancient rivalry. And we can't forget about Smithsonian's Jurisons. They're all grown up now, and they're out in those outskirts too. What do they do in all this?
The Jurisons, they're like this whole other layer of crazy in this world, you know? They're unpredictable. Nobody knows whose side they're on. It's like this ticking time bomb. It feels like everything Devi tried to make, it's about to fall apart.
So Whemsyka Woods, it was supposed to be this beautiful tribute, right? But now it's turning into a war zone. So what do Altunzo and Norwina do? Are they just going to sit there and watch their son go through the same thing his dad did? Or are they going to step in?
Well, they are the Tuskens, you know? They're all about strength and love. There's no way they're going to abandon their son. So they go on this really dangerous journey. With their other kids and Beverlyn, they're going to get Quinn back from Gorvax.
Wow. It's a whole family against this, like, powerful enemy. But is Gorvax really the biggest problem here? Or is something even worse going on? Something that could change Whemsyka Woods forever? I guess we'll find out in the last part. All right, so we're back in Whemsyka Woods. This world, it's got all this amazing tech, but it's also got a ton of problems, you know. And now the Tuskens, they're trying to save their son Quinn. He's stuck in the middle of this whole power struggle. So what happens next? What does this rescue mission tell us about what's going on in Whemsyka Woods?
Well, you know, as the Tuskens head into those outskirts, they find out something pretty messed up. It turns out Gorvax, he doesn't actually want to kill Quinn.
He doesn't.
Nope, he's using him as bait. It's all part of his plan to, like, finally get back at Altunzo.
Wow. So this isn't just about territory or, like, different species fighting. It's, like, way more personal. Gorvax wants revenge. He's been holding on to this grudge for years.
Exactly, and that's kind of the problem. He's so focused on getting Altunzo, he's not even paying attention to the bigger picture. He doesn't see how dangerous the Jursons are, and they're like everywhere in that part of the woods.
It's like he's setting a trap, but he might end up getting caught in it himself.
Yeah.
So what about the Tuskens? Do they know what they're getting into?
They know Gorvax hates them, of course, but they don't know how far he's willing to go. They figure that out as they get deeper into the outskirts, though. They run into the Stone Age lion bears, obviously, but then they also come face to face with the Jursons, and they're like nothing they ever seen before.
Makes you wonder about Whemsyka, doesn't it? Like, was she so mad at Debbie that she didn't even think about what releasing these creatures could do to this whole ecosystem?
Yeah. It's a question that keeps coming up in the story. Whemsyka, she's a complicated character. She was curious about science, but she was also hurt. And like, maybe she kind of wanted to mess up Debbie's world on purpose. We don't know if she knew this would happen, but she definitely started something that's gotten way out of control.
And now it's all coming to a head with the Tuskens, Gorvax, and the Jursons. It's like this three-way fight, and it's all happening in this world that's already super unstable. So, how does it end?
Well, it's not really about who wins. It's more about realizing that everyone's in danger. Altunzo and Gorvax, they do finally have their big fight. All those years of hate, it all comes out. But because of the Jursons, they have to admit that there's something even scarier than each other.
So it's like Whemsyka messed everything up, but she also made them realize that they got to work together.
Yeah, I think so. The old rules don't apply anymore. Not in this crazy new world. The Tuskens, Gorvax, even the Jursons, they all got to change if they want to survive.
That's a pretty powerful message. Even in a made-up place like Whemsyka Woods, it shows how important it is to, like, adapt and understand each other. We started with this story about talking animals, but it turned into something much bigger. It's about responsibility and what happens when people try to control nature. And it's about how powerful love and family can be, even when things are really bad.
It really makes you think about the balance of nature, you know, and how what we do can have consequences we don't even think about. Whemsyka Woods, it's a warning. It shows that even when we're trying to do good, we can accidentally mess things up really bad.
And sometimes it's when things are at their worst that we find out how strong we really are, how much we can care about each other and work together. Well, that's it for our deep dive into Whemsyka Woods. We hope you enjoyed it. Even though it's a made-up world, it shows us a lot about our own world, you know, and the choices we make. Until next time, keep on exploring.
If you love what you see, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to click the bell notification so you never miss a new story. Get ready for a year of unforgettable comic book adventures. Let's tell some amazing stories together.